Hey, you random stranger, how you been? If you are in need of some escape from the real world, then you have come to the right place because today we're going to be doing back-to-back episodes of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, episodes 3 and 4, because it has been a while. Last time our girls snagged themselves a headquarters and even an advisor, Mr. Fujimoto, but they are still the classic underdogs and have their work cut out for them to build up a rep in school, let alone make their own anime. And I feel with each episode, and it has only been two, but we do see the girls feeling out and stepping more into their unique roles in the club. Askusa, for instance, she is the wild creative force, but just isn't built for things like negotiation or confrontation, which is what you need when you've got this bull-headed faculty member who absolutely refuses to allow you to start another anime club. But Kanamori, no problems there. She'll use bribery or violence, whatever she has to, whatever the occasion calls for. And as a law grad myself, I really appreciated how Kanamori so quickly found and then exploited that loophole, the one that means that they'll set up a movie club but still get to make anime because, of course, anime can be film as well. And hence the birth of Eizouken. Not only that, but later when Asakura tries to bargain for some desks and stuffs up by mentioning the word anime, Kanamori again saves the day by reminding the faculty member that their club has a right to general film production, whether such films are animated or live action, that they do have a different focus to the actual anime club, which is really an anime culture research group. And then finally, she threatens to bring the wrath of the PTA down onto their heads for infringing on their right to undertake legitimate activities. And so Kanamori is my hero, and I think I am slightly in love with her. With Mizusaki, it's been interesting to see how she's not really fazed by Kanamori, and in fact knows how to handle her really well. Like when she and Askusa are celebrating having found an HQ, Kanamori complains about people just making up random excuses for celebrations, but Miss Mizusaki calms her down by using one of Kanamori's old tricks, which is like bribery, basically. I also want to note how cute it is that Mizusaki seems to be developing this tendency to cling on to Kanamori. It happens in the imaginary world after they've exploded a building, and then again in the real world when they're walking home in the rain. I just thought it was very cute. It's like seeing the dream team take shape when they start talking about what kind of anime that they're going to make. Mizusaki goes on this wonderful artistic rant about illustrating the movements of everyday life and of capturing subtle expressions and the timing of intercharacter conversations. And Askusa complements all that by talking about the set designs and sound design. Kanamori, though, she's all about figuring out which genre will rake in the most cash. And the way that Kanamori grounds those two was really apparent in the last episode. When Askusa and Misaki are dreaming about making their tattered old warehouse into a Hollywood animation studio, Kanamori is worrying about, the cost of labor and materials and just making it into something half decent. I do love, though, that even when Kanamori injects these doses of reality, she doesn't do it in a way that bring the other two down. It's sort of a fascinating symbiotic relationship. Like when Asuka and Mizusaki dive into the imaginary world, Kanamori just grumpily says, "Oh, you two always get like this when you're excited," and then just promptly hops onto whatever newfangled flying contraption that the other two have come up with, and even suggests improvements to its design. There was a line that encapsulated perfectly how they rely on each other's strengths in that way. And so Asukusa, after Kanamori tells her that, when she's making her propeller skirt, that it won't fly for whatever reason, Asukusa yells, "Don't distract me with details, you're gonna make me fall." She does fall, and then Kanamori gets it on video so that she can then later sell it for some extra cash. It's like, I guess it's like Asuka helps them as a group go beyond the limits of their imaginations, because in her mind there are no limits, but when they do hit a boundary of some sort, Kanamori is right there to make sure that even that works in their favor. There was also a lot of technical knowledge around how old school animation used to work, when the girls are given the keys to the old storeroom. And thank you for all of your comments, because they helped me grasp a bit better what in the hell they were actually talking about. So Raga Shingo very helpfully mentioned that that massive machine that they find with the camera and all the different layers is something like the multiplane camera that Disney used to, I guess, make the old classics like Snow White and Peter Pan and Pinocchio. And I'm gonna pull up the image here because it is huge. Yeah, there it is. So that is a multiplane camera, and basically they would paint like oils onto several layers of glass and then use that vertically positioned camera at the top to shoot a composite picture of all the planes merged together. And then, like Ragashingo said, those overlapping layers would create this illusion of depth, like a 3D effect. As well as the parallax effect, which is when the foreground and the backgrounds sort of move at different speeds. Very cool to learn. And obviously, you know, a lot of that is done digitally these days, like David Garcia mentioned in a comment. But yeah, it is a nostalgic reminder that it was only very recently that computers and graphic design software started to dominate. And that in the past, well, in the very near past, many things used to be done by hand back in the day, like classic cell animation. I also surprisingly enjoyed that part where they found a sketch of the windmill that's just outside of the storeroom and that used to power it, and they put the sketch up against the window so that it lines up with the actual thing, and realized that it wouldn't turn because of the way the angles of the blades were drawn. I just wasn't able to catch the wind. And it's like, nice and all right. It's not just the technical side of things that matter, but observation is really key as well in animation and in drawing. So the right things will only be believable if you understand how it works and how to express it in a medium. Yeah, so it's what Asuka was talking about in episode 1. Making the impossible plausible, even though something imaginary doesn't have to completely abide by the law of physics, there needs to be just enough there to lure the brain into believing something is just about possible, using things like visual tricks and attention to angles, which I thought was a really cool detail. A few of you also mentioned that the staff room is actually an X pool. So I went back and I looked and I saw all of the markings on the walls, and I was like, damn, like it fits in right with that random air conditioner over the entrance of the doorway. Things about this world that make you stop and just go, wait, why? How did that even happen? The last thing I want to mention is the things that I noticed in the imaginary world. Like that last scene where they're on that little dinghy and there are these mythical creatures in the background with these long blocks of text explaining what they are. So there's like the overlord bass and then some ancient breed of goat, as well as this thing that's apparently related to the duck but has evolved to form some kind of armor at the front of their face. It is a dangerous world, this world that they're creating. And yeah, David Myford pointed out how they wear those crash helmets while in the animated world, symbolic of the fact that they are engaged in construction work and performing dangerous stunts, although both are just imaginary. Yeah, also on that, there are these cool connections back to the real world. So I see a direct line from those crash helmets to Asuka's habit of wearing that military camouflage hat. Same with the end of the last episode. where the dream world ends in that shot of the massive windmill being spun by the rush of the water gushing out from a hole in the building that they just blew up, and the wind as well. And then it cuts back to the real world where there's a shot of the real windmill spinning in the storm. Okay, end of rant. I'm really looking forward to how they mix the real and the imaginary in these next two episodes. So if you guys are good to go, let's play this in 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, she's wearing the construction helmet. Damn, Mizusaki's a pro. I don't know how to operate a drill. Hey, it's official. Look at that posing. I love that. It looks like the kanji for film. Kanamori just looking out for threats everywhere. Once he gets over the threat of the PTA. Mm. Hey, that's their logo. That is so awesome. Okay, so Mizusaki has the cute, like, cheese sign. Ugh, I love this sing-songy rap. Man. So Kanamori also has the chessboard, and then no, it wasn't a chessboard. It was like a crossword puzzle, and then the chemistry science. Obviously, just all hard logic. That girl. I also love that little like clap sign when they actually clap as well. My God, there's so much detail in this OP. It's insane. Such a eclectic collection of stuff. Look at how excited she gets talking about this stuff. To it. Man, I feel for Kanamori so bad. It's got this like speech, his battle speech prepared, and these two just want to chase a butterfly. What? Oh, okay. I thought she might have spent it on something frivolous. Oh God. Is this not just, it's like every single thing just showcases how different these three are. Oh, damn. It's ruthless Captain Kanamori. I love how she wears her glasses on top of her head. Yeah, it's never actually on her face. That's so weird. See, Mizusaki just smiles and just like, oh, you. So to Kanamori, it's like, it's all about self interest. Oh, okay, so we're going to space this episode. I have no idea. It is amazing how well Kanamori knows Asuka though. And they're still friends. Like, it doesn't put her off at all, even though it does annoy her a little bit. We're gearing up for fall number 2. Oh god, that is not great. I love this backing track. So folksy. It's like a banjo. Damn, they're doing all these repairs themselves. Holy crap, too much text. Oh. I love that the ramen got its own like blueprint. Yeah, I was gonna say what? PG what? man. It's Kanamori just not watching after them. Yeah, she's playing along. That's great. Here we go. Kanamori to the rescue yet again. Wait, what is she doing? Wait, is she deliberately stalling? What the? Oh shit, she just ran through the wall. Oh man. I was wondering, why is she pushing the desk instead of just going outside and getting the letter? Yo, that's so fascinating. It's because Kanamori got so into their imaginary world so much that she smashed through a wall. Okay, I mean, having that blue material over the holes sort of produces an interesting quality to the roof. Man, what is his deal? Hey, but they got Kanamori. She must slay at these types of things. Gyudon. Oh, that is awesome. I wonder if they actually do have those ordering machines in Japan. I wouldn't be surprised. What language is that? 60,000 yen. Hmm. Yo, look at that ramen eating machine, Asuka's. Math. She's got all the math sorted out. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think Kanamori eats like actual food. It's just milk and bread. Yo, look at that poster. That is so weird. This girl is huge. Her face is plastered up in a subway station. I mean, the monorail. Damn, she's everywhere. Oh, what a charmer. It is interesting though, because those two have seen a different side to Mizusaki that the public doesn't. And she probably appreciates that. So, whoa. Oh, nice car. It's like a ruined city in the forest. I love how they're walking in and amongst the building. Hydropneumatic. She's basic. Oh my god. Whoa, that is some serious recoil. Hey. Yeah, doesn't she just do people? This is all about like the everyday movement, everyday people. Maybe because she comes from a background where, rich family, the normal is actually really interesting to her. It's kind of fascinating. Oh, the life of an animator. Hmm. Yeah, it's not just people, it's like how the environment, everything interacts with the people. I love how Kanamori kind of thinks about them as well as animators, just kind of manages their desires with what's practically what they have to get done. She's a good manager. Oh, they're gonna do the overlaying again. I love when they do that. That backlight against the window is beautiful. Hmm. Why not? Mm. Man, they're really getting into the flow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, can you just punch holes in normal paper? Ah. Oh man, I love that we're getting this like frame by frame plan of how they're gonna do this action scene. I don't really think about like as a non-animator, I don't really think about this stuff. And how to economize so you don't have to draw absolutely everything every time. This is insane. Find out next episode. Oh yeah. Oh man, like it is crazy to me that in that last animated scene where the frames are just very choppy, but because of all the sound effects and the music and the excitement in their voices as they're describing what's actually happening, it's just as good as a fully animated scene. It's so cool. Like thinking that that is how animators do their stuff. You know, they work off really, really rough sketches and they're seeing it all in their heads. Yeah, and all they need are a couple of sketches to really like be able to see the entire picture in their minds, this moving picture of how epic it could be. I'm so jealous because I don't have that kind of mind at all. Like that visual mind. That's a cool sun, that purple thing. All right. Okay, let's get cracking on episode 4. Do these have episode names? Not that I can see. Okay, anyway, ready guys? Let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play. And they got their desk all set up and stuff. The explosion. It's so hard. I don't know what capillary action is. Oh, she has an actual machete. Who's they? Kanamori? Wait, who's their forebears? Like their animation heroes? Mm. Oh, they're really feeling the crunch now. I suspect it doesn't matter how early you start on an animation, you're always, towards the end, always just rushing, just under so much time pressure. Yeah, sometimes you gotta cut corners on the quality if you want to make it in time. Mathematically speaking. 48 hours a day. Mm. It's like it's so interesting to see all these little, not little, these very practical limitations when it comes to animating. Just finding the best ways to economize your time and your effort to make something almost impossible to finish to like you maybe possibly could finish it in time. Man, yeah, I don't know if I could hack the pressure of working in the animation industry. Those of you who have like creative backgrounds and stuff probably be able to relate more. There's a bowl of ramen for Asakusa. I love that slide that they do on that note. This one. Yeah. Huh. Ah. So pixelated. So Mizusaki is all about like getting it detailed, getting the movement just right. And then Asuka's is like, no, you can do this. Like you reuse this shot, but do it in a little, slightly different way so that it looks different enough. That's cool. Hmm. There was an interesting contrast between manga and how it gets adapted to anime. Black and white film. It's true. Right, so they have to fit the story to what they already have. Oh man. It's because she's drawing so much, her fingers are starting to. Oh, it's because she's doing so much flipping. Oh my god. Oh. In betweens. Misaki's old school. Here's your dose of reality. Mm. I wonder why she is so gung ho about having everything hand drawn. It's bringing out the 48 hours a day thing again. Outsource. Lip sync shots. It's her worst nightmare. Damn, Kanamori laying down the law. She's right though. This is agonizing work. Hmm. There's the compromise. They really are doing this overnight. That's so cool. Just getting a milk. They might as well live there, hey. Oh man. Pretending to be a pro. They probably do, right? Oh man. Whoa. Oh man. They're just coming up the limitations of what's realistically possible to do. Oh, they're not meant to be there, no. Yeah. Damn, this whistling track. Sort of a weird tone. There's no tone really. Why is his neck is always like turned up? It's really weird. Mr. Fujimoto. Shut up and let me talk. Keep your hands up the student council. Oh my god, were those pitchforks down there? Holy crap. Got like the full security force out to keep the students in line. Ramen with rice. Oh, they do look like very tough student council. Carbohydrate Revolution Club. Come on, Kanamori. Oh. No comment. No comment. Oh, battle music. What the hell? Is that person holding a rocket launcher? That is insane. Ugh. What authority? Oh, her voice. Her accent. Damn, her eyes. Crazy eyes. This is sleep deprivation. Translation. It's gonna blow their socks off. Ah, the monochrome works really well. Oh man, those piano chords. Oh, nice. Hey, that's that shot. Sasuke's tank. Hey. Hey. Those explosions worked really well. Love this. Oh shit. Just run over the student council. Man, that running up the cliff phase. There's that low gravity working for you. The blind spot. Even the police are staring, just like, what happened? I love how they're not even looking at the audience. They're just fully into their own creation. Just criticizing their own work. That's all that matters. So proud of them. That was amazing. They have completely forgotten that they're actually giving a presentation. Yay. Oh my god. That was that was how many minutes was that? It was probably like 4 minutes. I love that we, with the finished product that they showed, we got to see each of the things that they actually discussed beforehand. Like the way that they did the explosions, the way that they repeated the background and the moving of the camera horizontally to the screen, the rolling down of the hill. Oh, it was so good. Man, that backing track as well was amazing. It's like a dissonant, it started with a dissonant piano chords. Just really, I don't even know how to describe that kind of music. It's like, yeah, it's alternative, but it's rough. It's got this rough quality to it that really matches with the it's not rough animation, but it's just like it's not a finished product and you know that it's not, but it's still awesome. Okay, I just want to rewatch it right away. That's cool. Yo, I'm so glad that we watched both of those episodes together because for that 5 minute preview that they showed to the rest of the school, we got to see the entire process of creating it, from the concept to the producing of the frames to having to make all of these compromises during the production process in order to meet that hard deadline. So 5 minutes of film takes many more hours of illustrating and then post-production to get it done. And the most interesting conflict to me in these last two episodes was Mizusaki's initial insistence on doing everything by hand and not using any digital effects to sort of cut that process shorter. She is extremely passionate about getting the details of all the movements of the character and their clothing just right and as lifelike as possible, especially the most normal of movements that most people wouldn't even think twice about as taking a lot of work to make look realistic. And Kanamori, and also Asuka as well, in her own way, although it's mostly Kanamori that Mizusaki is sort of clashing with a little bit. Kanamori has to make her see reason that the limits imposed on them by the deadline and by the fact that it's only her and Asuka who are doing these illustrations means that they have to take shortcuts and do everything possible to use less individual illustrated frames, including using that software to, I think it was to automatically fill in some of the colors and the movement. Also, they have to make this 5 minute preview as impactful as possible with the least amount of work, because they do have to impress the student council if they're ever going to move forward with Eizouken and sort of get a proper budget. So yeah, there was that interesting clash between the artist's vision and the constraints of a very demanding production line. I can just imagine anyone who has ever worked in the industry or even just on a creative project of all kinds, that they have experienced that agony of deciding, okay, so you can't have everything, so what part of your original vision can you afford to sacrifice? And it was really cool to see all of the ways in which they compromise on those things. Like, Kanamori puts her foot down on the more purist ideas that Mizusaki has, but she also recognizes that she has to make some room for her passion for hand-drawn detail, which is actually how they end up choosing to animate a girl with a machete fighting Asuka's tank. So the explosions and all the drama of the tank combined with the realism of the girl's movements, you know, the swinging of the katana and the close-ups in her face, that way they can have a bit of everything and also make it flashy enough to impress the council. My favorite line of these two episodes has to be Asuka's just hard-nosed professional observation made at 4 a.m, that it is less about completing a project and more the outcome of passion crashing against compromise and resignation. Oh man, like coming from Asuka, that line was so hard-hitting because it's a real moment of personal realization that no matter how idealized the final product is in your own head and how much passion you have coursing out of you, you will never fully escape the constraints placed on you by external factors and demands. But maybe it is rewarding in its own way, like being able to make these compromises but still come out with a production that is just as awesome, even if it doesn't turn out exactly the way that you first imagined it. And yeah, sometimes it can turn out even better because limits do push you and force you to come up with even more creative solutions. That last scene, when they finally presented their finished film to the student budgeting meeting, I don't have words to describe how great that was. That was a tough crowd, man. Like, it was wild that they had the police force holding back those students. to stop them from ripping apart those guys at the front at the start. I think that the Carb Revolution guys, the ones who were proposing to put rice in ramen in order to make it more mild, I think. Um, anyway, so it doesn't start out well for the girls who get identified as public enemy number one by the student council because of, damage to public property and ruining the anime club's film screening. And Kanamori holds her own for a while, but surprisingly, it was Asakusa who has that outburst, probably because of not sleeping enough for weeks at a time, and was like, you guys are being buttheads. We did all those crazy things because that is what it takes to make proper anime, which gives them the opening to show their 5-minute preview, and they just blow everyone away, like literally. I love that they showed the audience, as they were watching the film, like covering their heads to protect themselves from the blasts. And when they look down at the floor, it's that moving background with all the red rocks. And my favorite part was when a rocket canister gets fired and it's leaking gas, and there's this guy who's looking at it, and he blinks, and then 1 second he's seeing the canister as it is in the film, and then he blinks again, and the next second the canister is still there, but it's in the student hall. So all of these cool ways that they found to blend reality and then the imaginary, and it was great. That is it for this reaction. I hope you guys enjoy the episodes, and let me know your thoughts down below. Man, I love the zaniness of this show, and I'm really looking forward to watching more episodes with you guys. So until next time, have a good one, and we'll see you soon.